Manual to me. A way to let your collaborators, your co-workers, your colleagues know how to work with you, how to ideally work with you. There are other methods that you could add to this, but this is a simple starter. And a Google document with just some keywords to these questions will be good enough. I'll be doing a more elaborate version now as a video. And that's a bit more personal, as I hope you will see. And it's also a bit spontaneous. I haven't prepared my answers to these questions before. To be honest, I haven't even read them before. So some of these answers will have you see me really thinking about these things. And I don't intend this to be perfect, because this is supposed to be an introduction, and if I introduce myself to you with a polished, thought through, well phrased whatever, that wouldn't be authentic and it wouldn't be the real me. So let's dive in. I'm feeling a little nervous, but I think this is appropriate when I'm meeting you, and I hope we can do this in person very soon. I am almost 50 years old. I am German. I am a male who's taller than most people. I only realized that very, very late in life, because in school I was always the youngest in class. So I was always the smallest kid until fairly to the end. What brought me through school, especially in a competitive boys' school environment, was my quick thinking and my bright mind. To be really honest with you, as a teenager I used to believe that I don't have to be arrogant because I'm smarter than everybody else. Didn't get me very far, didn't get me many friends. Took me years to unlearn this and to become a more kind, more people-oriented person. And I know now that I actually reconnected to a self that was, as a younger boy, that was unacceptably emotional, unacceptably relational, unacceptably social for a boy. So I am a very emotional person. I'm a very relationship-oriented person. I see relationships. I am very, very into people. And as a small boy, that wasn't what made me successful. And when I was 9, I was sent to an all-boys school, and I lost basically all of my friends with that move. And that, set me up for some interesting decisions in my life. Like many boys who had to hide this soft side inside, I went into computers as a teenager. Because inside a computer I could live out all of my social skills, all of my social interests, all of my emotionality, and nobody knew it. So I was fairly autistic on the outside, like many programmers. I went into programming. And like many of us nerds, I have a very, very strong liking for sarcasm, for cynicism, for black humor, and I recently realized how much of my drive, how much of my energy was driven by contempt or by fear of contempt. And this year is the year where I'm really making peace with that, and where I'm integrating parts of my small boy, parts of my arrogant teenager, and just enjoying all of this and using that for deep connection with people. Quirks. I get bored very easily, and my attention then goes all around. In times of social media and mobile phones, it's going to my phone often. So you might find me looking at my phone during a conversation. That's another thing that I'm working on. I love music. I've been loving music all my life, and I'm fairly specific in kinds of music, specific composers, specific singers, specific bands that I'm really, really passionate about. I'm also quite peculiar about religion. I was brought up Roman Catholic. I'm fairly distanced from that now. I have a strong spiritual side, but I tend to not show that, and I tend to be very skeptical about people who show their spirituality strongly. But that doesn't mean that you need to hide anything. I'm fairly, as you see from this, I am fairly aware of these things, and I'm working on integrating all of this. I'm fairly curious, and I can be curious about a lot of things. Ask me for help before you need it, because then we have most options to figure out how I can help you, instead of coming with a desperate, oh, I need this now, giving neither you nor me a choice of what we might do. Being aware of options is something that I really love. I am always scanning my environment for options, and I'm trying to choose things that increase the options I have instead of limiting them. And if you do that too, that brings me really close to you. If you are very authentic in showing your emotions, and you're giving me honest feedback around or about how we relate, how we collaborate, what I do, what I say. If you enable me to grow, if you point at a blind spot, if you give me feedback on something that I wasn't aware of, I'd be deeply grateful for a very, very long time. I saw this amazing speech by Neil Gaiman, my favorite author, or one of my favorite authors. Make good art. And he was speaking about 3 things you should be doing as a freelancer, and I just transfer them to you. Want to do these as my co-worker, be on time, deliver good quality, and be kind, and 2 out of those is enough. So I'd be loving you if you're kind, bring good quality, late, etc. If I can see you're making an effort and you're accountable to what you did, you're accountable to yourself, I know I can rely on you if you're honest about your investment, if you're honest about your efforts, if you're honest about your capacity available for things we do together. That will make working with me a lot easier. I have been a fairly influential person because of my role, because of my seniority, because of my height, because of my size, without realizing it very often in my life. There is a high chance that you perceive me as more influential and more powerful than I perceive myself. Let me know if you think I'm using that power. I sometimes might do that without wanting to. And if you have the impression that I'm like running over you, it could be words or decisions or speed or whatever, I'm very probably not paying attention to it. Just slow me down. I like going slow. I just don't do it very often. I'm not used to it because I'm easily bored and fairly impatient. And Because I don't value myself too much, I have this habit of wanting to prove that I'm doing something, wanting to prove that I'm doing something useful, and that might come across as something else, maybe too directive, maybe authoritarian, maybe pushy, maybe whatever. It's not. I'm a very, very humble person, and if my actions do not show my humility, I'm not paying attention, and I will value your feedback greatly. I tend to finish other people's thoughts. That doesn't mean I don't value them. I have some habits that some people find peculiar, and don't make assumptions. Ask me. And if there's something I do that you don't like, or that doesn't fit your expectations, doesn't fit your habits, let me know. And I'm happy to adapt. Or I'm happy to talk about adapting. I will always see the best in you. I tend to see people's potential. This gift doesn't work on myself too well, but I really love developing people. That's what I'm really good at. I love you see your responsibility, help you get into responsibility, and help you grow whatever you want to grow. And I will usually assume you're great at whatever you do. And people have labeled me, filed me as an excellent confidence giver. So if you need somebody to boost your confidence, that's probably going to be me. Or I might be a valuable choice as somebody to boost your confidence. Communication with me. Face-to-face communication is definitely the most effective. When we can't communicate face-to-face, writing is a lot more efficient for me than speaking. I don't do too well with recorded messages, which is a bit funny because this is a recorded message to you. But if you send me 10 seconds of speech on WhatsApp or wherever, I might not get to listen to it for a day just because it doesn't immediately fit. If you send me a few sentences in writing, I can scan that and I can answer in between things. But for listening to something, I need to pay attention. I need to put on headphones because usually there are other people around and I don't know what you've sent me, so I don't want them to listen to it, etc., etc. So voice messages are complicated for me. Writing is fine. I don't really mind the channel. WhatsApp, Slack, email. I do have about 100,000 unread emails in my inbox. Out of the different channels you can use to reach me, email might not be the most effective, because I do get lots of emails, and I definitely do not read all of them. I do read all personal messages eventually, but sometimes some skip my attention. Align it with my purpose, or with the purpose we have already aligned on. If we're working on something together, if we're in a project together, if we are, if our relationship is already aligned onto something, give me strategic awareness of why what you want me to do is paying into that goal that we have already agreed to, or let me know what purpose. Another thing is point out something I'm learning on the way. That's going to surely get my attention. Or some way in which I can grow. So if you point me to something that's out of my comfort zone, outside of my comfort zone, I'm probably interested. I might not do it, but I'd be interested in doing it. have me do something with people I love is 2/3 of the way of convincing me to do it. I care a lot less about what we're doing than people I'm doing it with. So give me an interesting tribe and then I'm already halfway sold. As long as what we're doing is not against my values, against my purpose. Feedback. Timely, as quickly as possible, directly, openly. I do not mind being put down in front of other people. If it gives me an opportunity to learn more about an event. If I'm saying something and it hurts you and you tell me immediately, even though if it's on stage or whatever, I would be able to understand what happened, understand what I did, why I said that, etc. So much better than half an hour later, a day later, or a year later. So I will value that always. If you want feedback from me, let me know in advance if possible. Then we can both pay attention. And yeah, I don't really care. I like giving feedback. I'm fairly good at giving feedback. I'll not hurt you more than needed. I believe in kind and blunt feedback. I do not believe in radical candor or radical honesty. But I do believe in kind and loving confrontation. And I'm happy and ready to do that whenever you need it. I really liked introducing myself to you this way. I hope it's an inspiration to either use the document template or use a video like this one. Tell me in the comments how you liked it. Subscribe, like, share. I'm looking forward to get to know you. Have a good day.